Hey everybody, this video brings us out to Royersford, Pennsylvania, and today is Sean's first day of spring break. So I figured, how better to celebrate Sean's first day of spring break than to get something amazing and delicious for breakfast. So the reason why we're here in Royersford, Pennsylvania is because we are back once again at Suzy Joe's Donuts. I love Suzy Joe. Big fan of their donuts.
Twice, I think. One's with you and one's with my mom.
Oh, okay. So you've had their donuts before. I've had their donuts before. I've documented eating their donuts before. Maybe about a year ago, I came out here on Donut Day, got some donuts. But I showed you what I thought of their donuts. I did not show you what Sean thought of their donuts. So we're going to try some more donuts today because why the heck not? So Suzy Joe Donuts actually started in 1955 in Bridgeport, Pennsylvania. Joseph and Elizabeth Davis started this in 1955. And then in 1962, they relocated in Bridgeport. They went from a smaller location to a bigger location, and they renamed their donut franchise Suzy Joe after their children, Susanna and Joanna Davis. So that is where they got the name Suzy Joe from their two daughters. So I'm pumped.
Very interesting.
I'm excited. I love me some donuts. What kind of donuts are we gonna get? I don't even know what kind of donuts they have.
I remember they have little tiny circle donuts and chocolate with sprinkles and vanilla and sprinkles donuts. I'm pretty sure.
Are you thinking sprinkles stay?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna go. I don't know what kind of donuts I'm gonna get. We're gonna see what kind of donuts they have. I'm thinking we're gonna get ourselves like a dozen donuts. Either way, we're walking out of here with a box of donuts.
Maybe a baker dozen.
Ooh, a baker's dozen. I say, do you know how much a baker's dozen is?
13. Because a dozen's 12. Baker's dozen.
I could go for.
Baker dozen is 12 because one extra, just in case.
That's actually correct. Anyway, I could go for one extra donut. So in 1955, when Joseph and Elizabeth Davis did start their donut store, it was actually called Chess Pen Donut until, again, 1962, when they moved to a bigger location in Bridgeport and renamed it after their daughters. Now they actually have 3 locations. They have the one in Bridgeport, they have one in East Norton, and they have this one here in Royersford. It's technically on their website as Limerick, and technically we are in Limerick, Pennsylvania, but
right?
It's one of those weird things where technically we're in Limerick Township, but the address, if you were to look it up, would actually say Royersford. It's one of those weird things where we're in Limerick, but we're not in Limerick because all that stuff has to do with post offices. Because it's the Royersford post office, technically the address is Royersford. It's a whole weird thing. I used to live in Royersford, but I was technically a resident of Limerick Township. It's a whole weird, bizarre, confusing thing when it comes to post office. But anyway, so Suzy Joe in Royersford, or Limerick, whatever you want to say, used to actually be located down the road a little bit until maybe, I'm trying to think of how long ago this was. It could have been like 10, 15 years ago. It was a few years ago, a good chunk of years ago, when Dunkin' Donuts decided to build a brand new franchise location in the same shopping center as Suzy. Yeah, Sean's walking away because that's messed up, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they
Literally, those two are very, they both have very good donuts.
I would say one of them has good donuts, one of them not so much. So Dunkin' Donuts decided to open up a new franchise in the same exact shopping center as Suzy Joe, which was a horrible thing. Myself, many other locals, we were not a big fan of them doing that to a local establishment like that. That is just wrong. When a big company comes in like that, a big industry comes in like that and tries to push the little man out, which is what was happening here with Dunkin' Donuts moving into the same shopping center as Suzy Joe. But the good news is, locals in this area, we don't take too kindly to that sort of thing. We don't take too kindly to the big corporations coming in and trying to push the little people out, trying to push our favorite local independent stores out. So what happened is Suzy Joe moved down the street into this shopping center, only like a 30-second drive down the street. Moved into this shopping center instead, this being the Parktown Plaza shopping center. Moved in here, and they still thrive to this day. They still have tons of people coming out here.
Very close to us.
They are. They're like right down the road from us. So I am actually not a huge fan of Dunkin' Donut.
I think they're like.
I'm sorry. I mean Dunkin'. It's not even called Dunkin' Donuts anymore.
Like medium.
And that's what
so like not super good, but not like terrible.
One of my big problems with Dunkin' Donuts, or Dunkin', is the fact that they're not really a donut store anymore. They used to be. Back when I was a kid, every location made fresh donuts on the premises. There was always those commercials with that little guy, the time to make the donuts. I loved those commercials. And I loved going to Dunkin' Donuts when I was a kid, because you would walk in, and the whole back wall was nothing but donuts. It was a wall of donuts. It was amazing. There were 47,000 different varieties and flavors and anything you could want.
Have like egg sandwiches and chicken sandwiches with like a few donuts.
Exactly. Now you go into a Dunkin', and what do you find?
A few donuts. And
here's like
other breakfast.
Here's like 5 different selections of donuts, but you can get all kinds of breakfast sandwiches.
I want donuts.
Yeah, I go into Dunkin' Donuts for donuts, not for
Dunkin'
breakfast sandwiches.
Donuts.
So anyway, well, that's why they're not called Dunkin' Donuts anymore. That's why they changed their name just to Dunkin' now, because they don't really have donuts anymore. So anyway, I am not a big fan of Dunkin' Donuts, not only for the fact that they don't really carry donuts anymore, and their donuts really aren't all that good to begin with. They're not made fresh. They're trucked in, so they kind of taste like they've been trucked in. But also the fact that, again, they decided to try to weasel their way into this community and push out a local independent store like Suzy Joe. But again, the good moral of the story is, if you like a place, stick with them. And if you're a local, support your local independent stores. Don't get to the big franchises. Get to the mom and pop places. Keep them alive. And our local community did keep Suzy Joe alive, because their donuts are amazing. They're fantastic. In my opinion, a million times better than those Dunkin' people. So one thing I can say about Suzy Joe is that if you are going to come out here to get yourself some donuts, you might want to show up kind of early, because this place is very, very popular, and they sell out very, very fast when it comes to donuts. We are here ever so slightly late, as you can see. There's a lot of empty spots, but they still have a bunch of delicious looking donuts, all kinds of things like devil food and blueberry cake, maple bacon, and glazed. And look at those. What are these down here? The big giant things. Apple fritters. Wow, that is huge. So I'm seeing sugared though. That's my favorite. Powdered sugar. Is that a coconut right there?
Yes.
Coconuts.
Cake and a hard chocolate.
Ooh, chocolate. We got a chocolate one. Maybe. The glazed cake ones look pretty good as well. And they got some other like jelly filled donuts back there.
Yes.
Jelly filled and vanilla iced, and all right, Bavarian cream. Does it say cream sticks?
Yes.
That's awesome. All right, so trying to debate what we're gonna get. I'm thinking we're gonna go with, are we definitely getting sugared and sugar, like powdered sugar?
And maybe glazed.
Oh, that's a great question. So let's see, there's 6 there. Well, hey, what donuts do you want? Do you want to get the chocolate or no?
Which one's the chocolate?
The chocolate.
Yeah.
Come on. So you want that one? All right. I guess we're gonna go with. Let's do half a dozen. So I guess we'll get the 3 sugared. And then we'll get 2 of the powdered sugar. And then we'll get the 1 chocolate frosted.
That's like a candy chocolate. It's not like a frosted, it's a candy.
It's like, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, all right. And then do you want some glazed?
Yeah.
Like how do the donut holes go?
Half dozen.
You want just a half dozen?
Yeah.
All right, then we'll get a half dozen of the glazed donut holes as well. So, all right. We didn't quite get the. Oh no, we got the dozen. We got a half dozen donuts and a half dozen of the donut holes. So we didn't get that baker's dozen. We just needed 1 more to get that baker's dozen. So last time I was here, I made the terrible mistake of getting my donuts and leaving and not actually buying anything to drink, which was a huge mistake. If you're getting donuts, you gotta have something to drink. So Sean wants himself some milk. You're getting just the whole milk?
Yeah.
All right. I could go with some Gold Peak iced tea, which would be healthy, some Deer Park water, which would also be healthy, or I could go with a Coca-Cola, which would be unhealthy.
We only have one, so if we have one in the morning, we can't have
All right, we're
later.
You know what? I'm about to chow down on a dozen donuts. I'll get the water. All right, so we got our donuts. There's a guy in there right now who's bummed out because like the one donut he really wanted to get, they don't have. Again, you got to get here early. It's only like 9:30 in the morning. It's still really early, but
Most of the donuts are already gone.
most of the donuts are gone because this is an independent store.
They either gotta come early in the morning or when nobody wants to come.
They make their donuts, and then that's it for the day. Again, it's not like Dunkin' where they're maybe getting stuff shipped in on a somewhat regular basis. They're what they have is what they have, and you got to get out here early to get them. So yes, get out here. Like, what time do they open? You got to get out here like bright and early in the morning. I'm seeing if they do have their times up on their window. They open, look at that, at 6 o'clock in the morning, only 6 to 12, because by 12, they're already sold out of donuts. So come noon, they close down, they shut down because the donuts are just gone at that point. But again, you can see they open at 6 o'clock in the morning. So they've already been open for like 3.5 hours. They what? Sean's ready to eat the donuts. So they've been open for 3.5 hours already. They open at 6 o'clock in the morning, 6 a.m.
I woke up at 6 a.m. like 6:30.
Then why didn't you come up here and get us donuts? You could have just
One, I can't drive a car.
What?
2, I don't want to walk here. 3, I couldn't buy it. And 4, I would wait for you to wake up.
well, thank you.
You would probably be angry.
I mean, if you woke me up at 6 o'clock in the morning, even for donuts, yeah, I would probably be just ever slightly peeved. But I don't know. Then again, it's for Susie Joe donuts, so maybe I wouldn't be all that upset. All right, anyway, we got our donuts. We're gonna try our donuts. Again, Susie Joe Donuts, Parktown Plaza Shopping Center. There you go, Limerick, Bridgeport, and East Norton. You can go to SusieJoeDonuts.com if you want to see their history, want to see what kind of donuts they have. But again, if you're looking to get a very specific donut, try to get out here bright and early in the morning, because if you wait till 9:30 like we did, which again, it's not that for me anyway, 9:30 in the morning seems pretty darn early, but
Not for me.
not for Sean,
I wake up very early in the morning, sometimes even 12 o'clock in the morning.
and not for those people who want Susie Joe donuts. All right, are we gonna dive into these?
Yeah.
All right, okay, enough with the talking. I know Sean just wants the donuts, so we're gonna dive into these first.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm gonna go with a sugar donut, because my all-time favorite type of donut is absolutely a sugar donut, which is just a donut with sugar sprinkled all over it, because healthy. What is your all-time favorite type of donut? If I could say you can have only one type of donut for the rest of your life, what would you choose?
It would be a choose between the vanilla.
No, just one.
No, I'm saying I don't know, but
Okay.
I would choose between them. A vanilla glazed with rainbow sprinkled donut, or the sugar coated.
Like powdered sugar?
Yeah,
or
powdered
powdered sugar. Oh, okay. So I didn't know you were a big fan of powdered sugar.
I
All
like
right.
brown sugar.
All right, but anyway, you do like your chocolate, so it's like a candy. You said it was a candy chocolate, so. And is it good? So yeah, I think it's more of like a. It's not a chocolate. It's not a typical chocolate frosting that might be a little bit more.
Softer.
So yeah, softer, a little bit more mushy, if you will. That's more of like a like a.
It's a hard crunchy one, but
Yeah, it's like they melted a chocolate bar on top of a donut. Because again, healthy, that's what you need, a chocolate bar melted onto the top of a donut. So, all right, I'm gonna bite into the amazing sugar donut. They used to have sugar donuts at places like Dunkin', and then they stopped carrying them there. Oh my God. That is way better than any Dunkin' Donut I've ever had in my entire life. That is so good. Okay, you know what? We're getting breakfast here tomorrow too. Yeah, but we'll come earlier. We'll get up at 8 o'clock, all right?
Okay.
And then we'll come. Oh my gosh. I'm eating here every day. These are so incredibly good. Look at that. Sean has almost done his donut. Oh my gosh. Yeah. This is why you support your local independent chains, because I'd say 9 times out of 10, they're always better than the big juggernauts, the big stores. They're always better. And oh my gosh, this donut. Yeah. Way better than those Dunkin' people. Oh my gosh, so good. Okay, so I'm gonna try a bit of the chocolate donut as well, because he ate most of it. I'm curious about this. Oh.
Yeah, you're right. It tastes like they just like slapped a chocolate bar in a donut and let it melt and then let it dry.
That is good. It honestly does taste like a Hershey chocolate bar stuck on top of a donut, and they got.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's made from Hershey milk chocolate.
It could be. They have really delicious like plain donuts. So not only are you getting their very cakey, delicious plain donut, but you're getting the amazing chocolate, the candied chocolate on top as well, which is awesome. That was really good. All right, are we gonna try a powdered sugar donut now?
Yeah.
All right, ready? Wait, hold on. Ready?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. It's also really good. So
the reason why I started liking this is because I eat my breakfast at school now, and they most likely, like every few days, they have a donut.
They have donuts?
And that's one of the donuts they have.
You think it's from Suzy Joe?
Maybe.
I don't know. But yeah. So what I like about places like this, because some places, they'll just take their plain, regular, you take it, got it? They'll just take their plain donuts and they'll sprinkle some sugar on them, or they'll sprinkle some powdered sugar on them, or they'll Sean's face looks like my hands right now. They'll just take their standard regular plain donuts and they'll sprinkle some stuff on them, and you're basically eating a plain donut with powdered sugar. So it doesn't, I don't know, there's something about that I don't really dig. Like, I love a good plain donut, but when you start putting toppings on it, I mean, the chocolate was fine, but when you start putting things like powdered sugar on it, or something like that, it kind of bugs me. I'd rather a much more, I don't know, like a different cakier type of donut. And that's what we get here. What's that?
Is when I go to eat it, it gets on my tongue and then immediately melts, and then it's just eating a plain donut.
Well, let me show you how you eat a donut like this. You got to go. Ready? There's a trick to eating a donut like this. Here's what it is. You lean over. And you eat it, so all the powdered sugar falls to the ground and down all over your jacket. There you go. He's doing it. But whatever kind of donut that is in there, oh my gosh. It is very, very soft, very chewy, very cakey. That donut, like that inside there, oh my gosh, that is so good. And it's the same stuff that I think they have for their sugar donut as well. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I could do this any day.
I'm getting breakfast here every morning now. Oh my gosh. These are so good. Okay, so I swear we're going to finish the rest of the donuts, but for the sake of the video, we're going to dive into the glazed donuts now. Now, I got to be honest, I'm not a huge glazed donut fan. I don't dislike glazed donuts, but I've never been a huge glazed donuts. Although well, let me rephrase that. Even though I've been dissing Dunkin' Donuts the entire video, there is one donut at Dunkin'. Again, they don't really carry anymore. I don't see them anymore, but I used to really like, and it was from their Munchkins. They had ones called glazed cake, not to be confused with the glazed donuts that Dunkin' has, because Dunkin' has glazed like donut holes, Munchkins. But they also had ones called glazed cake, which are technically different, and they were really cakey. They were really good. I actually really liked them, but again, when I go to places like Dunkin' now, I don't see them anymore. I don't think they even carry them anymore. They used to have, like, again, multiple flavors of Munchkins. Now they have like 3 flavors of Munchkins. Anyway, all right, we're gonna cheers. Bing. All right, let's see how the glazed cake ones taste.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, the glazed ones. Again, even though I'm not a huge glazed donut fan, these are actually really, again, really, really good. It's the donut. Like, that's what makes these all so good, because that's what it comes down to. It's not the toppings. It's like I always say with like all food, like when it comes to a hamburger or a hot dog, you can make anything taste pretty good if you stick enough junk on it. But it's the initial ingredient. It's the hot dog. It's the hamburger. They gotta taste really good too. And in this case, it's all about the donut. And the donuts here taste
Really good.
so good. So the toppings are an extra added bonus. That's the icing on the cake.
Or the fly flour with a mushroom.
That's the icing on the cake. The fire flour on the mushroom? I'm playing way too much Mario Brothers. Anyway, it's the cake. The cake here, the donuts themselves, they are just delicious. And again, all the toppings are the extra added bonus flavoring to the amazing donuts. They're just all so incredibly good. All right, we're gonna finish the rest of these donuts now. These are not gonna make it home. We're gonna chow down on all of those. They are absolutely delicious.
Because I'm getting pretty full.
I'm gonna finish off the donuts then. I'm not getting full. These are so delicious. I don't even know what I want to like. Do I want to finish the sugar? Do I want to finish the powdered sugar? I don't know.
Do leave some for me. Though.
I'll leave some for you. Fine. Oh my gosh. These are so good. All right, guys. So that's gonna do it for Suzy Joe Donuts. Some of the best donuts around. I'm in love with this place. I mean, look at those delicious, amazing, cakey, fluffy, moist donuts. I'm probably gonna eat at least like 2 more of these before we actually make it home. So I love the fact that Suzy Joe is still in business. The big juggernaut, the big franchisee tried to come in and put a place like this out of business, and it did not work. Dunkin' came in. Dunkin' saw what was happening. Dunkin' saw that every morning, right down the road, in the shopping center, right down the road, that Suzy Joe was hopping, that people were coming in droves out to Suzy Joe Donuts every single morning to get their donuts, to get some breakfast, or to buy, 2 or 3 dozen donuts for their office. They were coming in droves to come out and buy some of the best donuts around. Somebody saw that and said, you know what? I'm gonna open a Dunkin' Donuts franchise in the same exact shopping center, try to steal Suzy Joe's thunder, try to steal their companies, try to become the new donut kings in town. And it did not work. It did not work. Now, Dunkin' is still down the road. They're still in that same shopping center in the same exact area. But Suzy Joe is now down here and selling out of donuts every single morning because the locals said, no, we're not having this. We're not gonna support the big wigs. We're not going to support Dunkin', who try to put a local independent store out of business. We're going to continue to support the local independent business. And because of that, Suzy Joe still thrives. So again, if you have a local independent store, whether it's a donut shop, whether it's a hamburger joint, whether it's anything, if they're local and they're independent and you want to see these stores survive, you gotta support them. And I would highly recommend supporting stores like Suzy Joe. Let the mom and pop shops thrive because, again, 9 times out of 10, the mom and pop shops are way better than the big franchisee. The donuts here are so much better than Dunkin' Donuts ever has been, ever will be. Wishes they could ever be. These donuts are way, way better. And I would say that probably most independent donut stores you go to will probably have better donuts than Dunkin' or any of those other donut places out there, Krispy Kreme, any of those places. I guarantee they're not nearly as good as a place like Suzy Joe Donuts here in in Limerick, Royersford, Pennsylvania, East Norton, Pennsylvania, and Bridgeport, Pennsylvania. So if you're in any of those towns, get out there, check them out, pick yourself up a dozen, a half dozen, a dozen, 3 dozen, 4 dozen,
Baker's dozen.
a baker's dozen. Get yourself some donuts, get yourself some donut holes, get yourself some apple fritters, all kinds of amazing, delicious donuts here at Suzy Joe Donuts, this being the Royersford, Limerick, Pennsylvania store right here. But all right, guys, with that, we are done. I've got some more donuts to eat. I'm totally eating like 2 or 3 or I'll save you a donut. Anyway, guys, so with that, like I said, we are done. So as always, thank you all so much for checking out this video. Be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, check down below for links to Patreon. If you guys do become a patron, I will send you a postcard every single month from the road. Also check down below for a link to Spreadshirt, where you can get yourself retro Rest Stop t-shirts, proceeds, both from Spreadshirt. Wow, we eat a lot of those donut holes. Anyway, proceeds both from Spreadshirt and from Patreon do help support the show, and they do keep the show going, so I really do appreciate the support. It means a whole lot to me. And if you guys watch this video all the way until the very end, hashtag
Yummy, yummy donuts.
I like that. Hashtag yummy, yummy donuts. If you guys watch this video all the way until the very end.
Donuts from Suzy Joe's.
Or yummy donuts from Suzy Joe's, or both, or whatever, or any other 47 things you wanna do. It's up to you. So anyway, guys, like I said, come out to a place like Suzy Joe's. Get out here to Suzy Joe's if you're in Royersford/Limerick, if you're in Bridgeport, if you're in East Norton, or if you just happen to have a local independent donut shop nearby. Support them. Check them out. Get some donuts from them. I guarantee you, you will not be disappointed. But all right, again, that's going to do it. So like I said, thanks for watching. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. And if you do hit that subscribe button or you are subscribed, then I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye. So it's now about 5 hours later, and I'm realizing we never actually shot anything for the end of the video. Well, anyway, we're here at Bravo Pizza now, and we figured since eating donuts for breakfast just wasn't quite disgusting and fattening and bad for us enough. For lunch, we came into Bravo for pepperoni nuts. Literally just dough with pepperoni. Some of the most greasiest, disgusting, and delicious food concoctions ever made. It's spring break.